more with your festive and getting your finances in festive shape.
Peter, in the main, it's been a positive week for equity markets.
Yeah. I'd like to always give you the chance to tell us about the growth that you've generated. So take a balanced fund, for example, year to date. How's it performed then, George?
So balanced portfolios returned around 10% this year. So it's been a really strong year for returns.
Yeah, people are spending on plastic this Christmas because it.
Oh, there we are.
That's number one.
Hello everyone and welcome to another True Potential Do More With Your Money podcast. It's episode 98 today, and as you can tell, hopefully it is a festive special, and for that we're joined by three Santa's little helpers. Let's meet them. We've got Neil Reindeer Rayner in the house today. Hello Neil.
Hi Peter.
Jenny Deck the Halls is here as well. Hello Jenny.
That. Hello.
I thought about that one about 5 minutes ago. And George, get your baubles out, Bell. Hello George. How are you?
Hello Peter.
Good to see you. Now Neil, I have to just say the ground rules at the start. Just because we've dressed up like, in our jumpers and we've got the place like Santa's Grotto, you're not sitting on me knee, right? Not again. So
tempting though, Peter.
Don't get your hopes up on that. It looks very good. Looks great though, doesn't it? The guys have done a very good job.
Very good job,
in the studio today.
Very festive.
Absolutely, and we'll come to that in a moment. Let's do it now. Let's explain from the off. Jenny, I'm going to come to you.
Oh, God.
Why have I got these things on me, which I know you haven't, which you'll pay a price for in a second. Explain to our wonderful audience why we're not saying a certain word.
So, okay, I feel like I'm being stitched up here. But throughout kind of from mid-November to our festive party day,
yes.
A certain C word is banned. And any kind of way of putting that, such as this right here. And the purpose of it is just have a bit of fun, get us in the festive spirit, and ultimately fund a lot of shots at the festive party.
And what happens if you were to say the C word, or maybe wear some clothing that has it or an abbreviation of it?
So if I was to say it,
yes.
it would cost me £1 every time I said it.
A little fine, yes.
A
festive
George,
fine?
A festive fine.
A pound.
Neil?
£10.
Yes, because you're important. I mean, you're all important, but you're
not as important as Neil.
That's right.
Just stupid people.
That's it, yes. Well, I also I qualify for the £10 fine, and I'm not paying it. Hence, I've got these. Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, you two are going to have to put your hand straight in the pocket.
It's been an expensive podcast already.
That's right. What happens to the money that is raised? Let's just, we raise a lot of money, and what happens to the funds that get raised?
So 50% goes to charity.
Yeah.
So this year it's going to be going to Cash for Kids.
Yeah.
And the other 50% goes to, like I say, shots at the festive party
That's
for the
right,
teams.
Yes. Yeah.
So, at least you're going to get something out of it, Raina.
That's right.
Yes, that's a good point.
And if these drop off halfway through, and they're pretty cool because look, these are amazing post-notes. Because watch, if I just do this, look what happens to them.
Wow,
how fantastic is that?
It's pretty.
But if they fall off, I've got to put money in it. So let's hope they don't. Look, before we go any further, I'm not going to stare at these for the next 45 minutes. So let's. Do you want to pull my cracker? Oh, you won.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. We're getting the hats out.
Are there some jokes inside of there?
There you go.
Oh, look at that! Just what I've
nice set of
wanted.
pencils.
A couple of pencils. They'll come in very handy. Yeah. Well, we'll come back to the jokes at the end. Let's keep our audience in suspense for a festive joke. But we'll end the show today on those. But George, before we go any further, could you tell us what's happened on the markets this week, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. In the main, it's been a positive week for equity markets.
Yeah. You can't keep a straight face doing this, can you? I can tell.
I'm normally in fancy dress of some form when I'm on the podcast. But global equities up 3%. US was one of the supporting factors there. So we've had a good bounce back in regions such as the UK and in Europe, which were more challenged the week before when you had Omicron cases in the news. Bond markets, you've seen yields move higher, so investors have had a little bit more confidence to move back from bonds towards risk assets, so back towards equities. Currency markets, we had a mild dip in sterling relative to the euro and the dollar after the announcement from Boris Johnson of the move towards Plan-B. We're still seeing some euro weakness, but in the main, you've seen sterling start to recover against the euro. So you're at around 117 now and around 132 sterling relative to the US dollar. I think the key stories this week, we can't get away from it in the UK. It's been that move to Plan B. what happened as a reaction to that? You saw investors move from equity markets to government bond markets, so we saw quite a sharp yield reduction in UK bonds, saw some currency weakness. If we look at that over the week, we've seen that in the main wash out, so we've seen a recovery back to pretty much where we were there. This morning we've had the UK growth print, the GDP print, come out for the 3 months to the end of October. That demonstrated expansion of 0.9%, so just below 1%, so positive growth coming through.
Yeah.
The number was around 0.1% on the month. What's the news flow today? Well, it was slightly below expectations. So we're still seeing positive growth coming through, but there was quite a lot of momentum picking up behind expectations. And expectations in this environment are pretty difficult to gauge, given we've got supply chain challenges at one side, which has an impact on manufacturers, it's having an impact on construction, but also you've got a confidence factor, and how do you build that confidence factor in around consumers? If we look at that 3-month window, the Delta variant was still very much a topic there, but in the main, a positive growth number. We've seen a positive recovery within equity markets, so a number of good news stories to come out this week.
And do you think that was because the restrictions that, or Plan B that got announced earlier in the week, actually in terms of the restrictions themselves, fairly light touch? Okay, masks in a few more places and work from home if you can, a bit more of that going on. We'll talk a bit about that probably later on, but that not too drastic. Do you think that's probably why things didn't?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean,
too drastic.
We were very accustomed to what tighter restrictions mean, and there's also, we're more adapt in terms of how we continue to spend within tighter restriction environments. So the markets took the news on board, reacted. A lot of news flow coming out of it. They reacted, but in the main, you've seen markets recover since that point.
Yeah, okay. I think it's fair to say as well, with the Omicron virus or the mutation or whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of uncertainty about it, as in how does it affect people? Is it as dangerous as the first one? Is it just, the symptoms? So I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the market as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Right, okay, let's move on then. Let's get into the actual topic for today's podcast, which is really about doing more with your festive and getting your finances in festive shape. So maybe I'll just come to you, Jenny, first, and just wanted to understand a little bit about maybe how you, if you like, budget over the year for the festive period. I mean, there's a few ways of doing it. Perhaps some people will put some money aside through the year to have that little fund there ready. Is that what you do, or how do you go about it?
No, I'm very much that person. I like to be organised, so I like to know exactly, at least if I may go over budget in the festive or in December with present buying, but in the main, at least I know kind of that I'm contributing towards it, and I'm saving a little bit each month. I think that makes it easier, and it's not like it's being sprung on you like a broken car or a washing machine or something like that needs replacing. You can plan for it, and I think that's exactly what I do. I kind of treat it almost like I'm contributing to your pension,
so you're thinking about it all year, or certainly in the months leading up to.
Yes, absolutely. Just stand in order that goes into a savings account.
Right.
So
and
I'm very
do
prepared.
you find you spend more every year? Did you have
Yeah.
Oh.
It's never enough. It's never enough. But there we go. At least I don't have to fork out a load out of, say, your last pay before the festive period. So very prepared.
Good. Oh well, I like it. What about you, George? Are you the same?
Well, December, everything ramps up. You've got more spending on gifts, nights out, food, travel, outfits. If we look at typical households in December, or I was looking at a survey from the Bank of England. They were suggesting that the average household spends about £2,500 per month. That actually ramps up by about 29% in December. So I suppose consumers have got two choices there. Do they save and budget and be sensible? I'm a bit more old school, so I tend to put a little bit away in the months coming up to December. Or do you stick it on the plastic, and do you use credit as a facility there? We know in the UK there is a temptation to do the latter, which is, I suppose, a short-term bridge, but can run you into some longer-term challenges. My perspective, I'm boring, a boring finance guy, so I like to save and to plan a little bit ahead of this sort of season.
Yeah, there's nothing boring about you, George. That's not a boring approach. That's a very sensible one. Do you take the George Bell approach?
I do, but being obviously a financial advisor, Peter,
yes.
I regularly save all the time, so I get it in a really good practice. And but I don't tend to save for my festive presents. I tend to just take a hit and just pay for it out of the bank.
I'm the same. I'm the typical bloke in that respect. I don't. I'm not nowhere near as well organised as Jenny and George as well.
And I haven't started the festive shopping yet.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh well.
No, I'm nearly done.
No.
Yeah, I've probably got one more trip to do.
Do it in one day.
24th of December.
Just on Amazon, just buy.
That's right, yeah. Prime next day.
That's right. See, it's the thought that counts. But if people are watching this and thinking, well, I like that, I like your style, I like putting a bit away, a few pounds every month, or in the months leading up to this time of year, how can they do that? What impulse saving and things like that? What would be the way that a client or someone thinking about moving to True Potential could, if you like, set up an account and then just do those little impulse drop-ins,
yeah, absolutely. So although ISAs and things like that are typically used for long-term investment, it is also kind of just being able to put a little bit in every so often. So if you can't commit to a certain amount each month, that's why the impulse save feature is so good as well. So they can.
So like you say, just putting a £5 or a £10 away.
Exactly.
Every month, quick couple of clicks.
I feel like a Tesco advert here is that every little helps.
Yeah.
Or is that Asda? I never know.
No, it's but if you save an amount every month, you don't have to obviously invest it all. You can invest what you think is going to go into your investments, your ISA or your investment account, and then you could put the other amount aside for your festive presents. I think there's a good mix there.
Yeah. And I think it was George mentioned about putting things on plastic in the debt side of things as well. I mean, from an advice point of view, what would be your thoughts on that? I mean, what have you got to watch out for?
I mean, debt is part of everyday life. You can't get away with it for certain things like the bigger purchases or your mortgages, your cars for your average person. As a financial advisor, you would probably say, and I said it a couple of podcasts ago, you would recommend that you probably save up for things before you'd probably put it on plastic. Why? Because there's a tendency for that debt just to stay there on plastic, and for you not to pay it off, or maybe it's just to pay off the minimum and then you're paying an APR. Yes, you've got interest-free periods, but if you're starting to save in January, February for the next coming year, the next coming festive period, that saves you from putting it on plastic in the first place. But I think the cost of certain things, like new PCs, new laptops, new
jumpers,
new iPad, new jumpers. They cost a lot of money, and some people just can't afford to shell out that amount off. But it's good if you put it on plastic to have a regular plan to say, well, over that next 12 months, I'm going to pay it off X amount per month.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the stats are this December, because household savings are higher than what they've been in the past. So in the UK, disposable income after people have paid bills is currently around 12%. In the past, before COVID, that was around 5%. So you've actually got people with higher savings levels. So how will that wash through? Will people still have the temptation to think, well, I'll keep that in the bank and I'll slam it on the plastic sort of bridge that gap
and I think stretching. And I think just to sort of make more of a point of that is people have saved a lot under lockdown, obviously because they've not been able to do X, Y, Z, but also the biggest amount of purchases that they've made potentially that they haven't made in those times will be your 3-4 grand on your holidays. And that's just probably sitting in the bank. So maybe, like you said, George, it might be an opportunity to see how much people are spending on plastic this Christmas because
oh, there we are.
That's number one, because you might not have as much.
You've got a bit less now.
Yeah.
Oh, get in.
£20 down.
Yeah, that's right, indeed. Have you got it on you? I mean, we're not going to let you leave until you put it in the tin.
Debit card.
You're not putting there's no plastic. I mean, there's a place for credit cards, a place for debt, isn't there? We shouldn't necessarily be too disparaging about that, especially around this time of year. Is that what you do? Do you get the plastic out, or are you so good in the year that you don't need to?
No. I think I try and be sensible. I always try and have like the motto of, okay, leave it a day. If I really want it, I'll then go back for it. And it's working out, kind of, okay, if I do put it on a credit card, how am I going to pay it back? What other commitments have I got? So it's weighing up, the decision of being sensible, of putting it on a credit card and knowing that you can afford to pay it back, as opposed to, just putting it on the credit card and kind of just continuously paying off the minimum amount. Because that just gets you into trouble.
The credit card's got certain benefits as well. You could get points and then decide to just pay off the lump sum afterwards. So could be. And
are you seeing statistics coming through yet, going back to your point around people having perhaps saved a lot of money over the last 2 years. Are there statistics out showing that this festive sales are higher than they were maybe last year or the year before that? Are you starting to see that coming through yet?
Yeah,
Retail
sales have picked up over the last few months.
Yeah.
But retail sales have been pretty strong all the way through the year because,
Yeah.
to Neil's point, people aren't going on holiday, but
That's
they've still got this money that they want to get out and spend and enjoy. So retail sales have been pretty strong. I was just looking on, websites such as Visa and looking on Bloomberg last night just to see how credit card transactions were picking up. Credit card transactions in the main, there hasn't really been a big seasonal trend. It's just been picking up over the last 10 years. So if you look at charts, people are using them more frequently. But some of that may just be because, we're moving into an environment where cash isn't used as frequently.
Just to pay fines.
Yeah.
Or not. Yet. And you mentioned, Neil, before you dropped that word in, points. That you might get on credit cards, and it just teases up nicely to talk about the rewards that you can get through True Potential. So at this time of year, if you're buying things, which of course we all are, there's a clever, smart way to do it, isn't there? Tell us about that.
Oh, definitely.
Jenny.
I think I was just saying to Neil before kind of came on that I'm an absolute sucker for this now.
Yeah.
First, the point of the role, you can go onto your client site. There's a tab that says rewards, and if you look on there, there's loads of things that are there. So ASOS, Selfridges, even things like holiday companies, so Expedia, utility bills, everything's on there. Like, there's so many different options, and they've all got different percentages of cashback options. And at first I kind of thought, I can't be bothered to log onto my site and, check if it's available, to then check if I want to buy it and all that. But actually, it's really, really beneficial. So the example that I was just telling you about before was Greg had booked the Silverstone tickets without actually looking for accommodation. So we were scouring for accommodation in July where we could stay anyway. So we came across the only place that we could get, which was a Holiday Inn Express off the side of the M1. And it was a ridiculous price. Like, it was just so expensive. But we bought the tickets, so I had to commit. But actually doing it via the TP Investor site and booking via Expedia, I think it was about 9% cash back on me, like £900 hotel for 3 nights on the edge of the M1. So it was, I'm not going to say it, softened the blow, but it certainly helped. It's better for me to have that £90,
absolutely,
so nobody else.
I thought everyone's just stayed in a tent when you do that.
You can, but I don't really think that's Greg.
No. You mean you don't think it's you, Jenny?
No,
we know what you mean.
Definitely Greg. Too high maintenance.
But I mean, it's cool, isn't it? Because you can go on the app, on the TP Investor app. You can just, you can see there's loads of, do you know how many there are? I mean, there's just tons and tons of retailers.
I would say there's over 100 at least.
There's a lot of big names on there.
And all sorts of different things. And as you say, if you're gonna buy it anyway, do it through the app. You get what you were going to buy, but you get cash back through the app as well.
So there's nothing to lose.
Brilliant.
There's nothing to lose from going through it. But there's some big companies on there. And each different company gives a different percentage. So it's worth looking on there to see what you get. I think we're talking about ASOS giving 8%.
8%, couldn't believe it the other day when I logged on.
If you're going to buy it, then why not?
Well, that's right, absolutely, yes, as well. And then we don't want to talk about after the festive just yet, because we want to build it up, but just a quick little look ahead
build up the fines.
That's right, yes. Yeah, exactly. But just a little look ahead to maybe going into the new year. So let's say you've do you just start straight away in January to start put money aside, or pay off that credit card debt? What should people perhaps do once they get over this and into the new year? What would you advise people to do in terms of starting the new year in good financial shape?
Well, that's it. Have a review of your finances and see what if you do have a certain amount of money on debt, then see how you can afford to pay that off over the next 12 months. Just good financial budgeting, really. It's not rocket science, really, with regards to that. And then also see what you can afford to put away every month. We often talk about when does that go out of your bank account. So typically people get paid on the first of the month or the end of the month. And then what you should do is have them payments going out when you just after your wage hits. Why? Because it's tracked like a bill, and then you don't miss it. And then that's put away every month it builds up, and then at festive time you've got a nice festive pot.
I'm the worst for this, but like you said earlier, like I just with my impulse saving, I'm an impulse buyer. I'm terrible at this stuff. I leave it till, I'm not like you at all, I leave my buying till the last possible minute, more like you, and then you find you're just going out, you're panicking. and so I'm just buying stuff, because you think, oh God, I've done it again, I've left it too late, and I probably just spend far too much. I'm sure those that I buy for don't think I spend far too much. I don't think I spend enough, but I'm sure I do.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of those little, pitfalls, aren't there?
Yeah.
Are you a bit like that, George?
When I say I plan and put a bit aside, I'm not quite as organised as 1st of January start saving. It's normally a few months before I start thinking about it. But start of a new year, everybody's thinking about getting themselves in shape. It's about getting your finances in shape as well. And why not use the app to help you do that? Because our app, very interactive. It'll allow you to think about goals. It'll allow you to think about investments, how you can invest, different wrappers you can use, and then certain habits attached to that as well. Impulse saving, what's that all about? How can you benefit from pound cost averaging? How can you benefit from having a habit of being a regular investor, and then attaching that to your shopping habits as well, using it as a method of continuing your shopping habits, but putting some money back in your own pocket.
I think the good thing is about the app as well, you don't have the facility just to look at your true potential investments. You can put things on like your assets, the cash that you have in the bank. What then you can do is, George was just talking about, you can then goal plan as to what you want to do moving forward. The great thing is we always say about, if you can't afford to invest a lot, invest a little, and then use the impulse save if you have any spare cash at the end of every month.
Yeah. I think it's a great way to do it. That I love the whole and so easy as well, isn't it? Just you think about how complicated saving used to be. You'd have to either go into a bank or something, or go and speak to someone. And now you can just bang, just do it there, a couple of clicks.
Yeah, straight from your debit card, which is we couldn't envisage it any other way now. It typically, if you wanted to see a financial advisor years ago and said, I want to put £100 into my my ISA, it would be either a trip down to the bank and make an appointment. You're only putting in £100. You can just press a button and it's done.
Yeah, brilliant.
And on the investment side as well, we've moved from a world where typically people would get an annual statement, which would be a document, and it would say the performance of your investment is this on this date, and we needed to move on from that. We've got an app which allows people to see the value of their investment, the performance of their investment, how it's invested, and we supplement that on YouTube each day as well by discussing what's happened in the market. So the client will log on, they'll see their worth, they'll see the individual investment, how that's performing, and then they can flick onto the YouTube app or even just through the app and get context in terms of, okay, this is how my investments moved, and these are the reasons why. This is what's happening in the market.
And I think it's good to as well, which is a really good point on what George has just said, to talk about our new See Next app that we have, the refresh on it, which has gone live. You can see everything in one place. So when George has just said, oh, look at my investments have gone up, I wonder why, let's have a look at the market commentary which has been released, which is on the app as well. You can go down there, press it, look at what the investment team are talking about the market and how it's performed, and then realise the effect that it's had on your investment.
That's right. I like to always give you the chance to tell us about the growth that you've generated. So take a balanced fund, for example, year to date. How's it performed then, George?
So balanced portfolio's returned around 10% this year. So it's been a really strong year for returns. If I look at our aggressive portfolio, it's up around 15% this year, and that's after you've taken off the portfolio charges as well. So really strong with returns, and we've got some really exciting opportunities for the portfolios coming into the new year. I'm sure I'll be banging on about it on the podcast in terms of the developments, but a lot of hard work's been put into evolving the portfolios this year, and we're really excited about the opportunities for next year.
And when we're talking about putting a bit of money aside, every month, if you're getting that kind of growth on it as well, I mean that's some extra festive presents right there, isn't it?
Exactly, or extra fines.
Well, that's right if you're Neil. Let's talk a bit. I want to talk about the festive then. So I want to know how you. Well, first of all, I want to know what have you been a good boy this year?
I have, I think.
Are you sure? Are you confident about that?
I think so.
Yes. And what are you asking Santa for this year?
Well, I'm not asking them for anything in particular actually, because I'm sort of a person that tends to buy things for himself, Not in a selfish way.
Right.
But I think I like to be surprised. So whatever anybody has got for me, I'm happy with that.
Right. Oh well. I hope your stocking's nice and full on festive day.
What
about
kind
you?
of stuff? Oh, yeah, festive.
Well, let's not go there, Neil. It's a very dangerous game. Jenny, what about you? What are you hoping for?
I'm quite sad. I've asked for a hairdryer.
What are the Dyson ones?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean.
But the blue and copper one. So if anybody listening's bought us the grey and pink one.
No pressure for anybody on the podcast.
But yeah, very boring hairdryer.
I'm like Neil. Don't really have anything in mind. Just like the surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Peter?
What am I asking for? I'm the same actually. I've just said, look, I'm happy with everything I've got, Neil. I'm a fairly low maintenance sort of guy. I just, I don't know if I've been good enough this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't.
Time will tell.
Yeah. And what is your favourite festive tradition?
Traditional, so festive lunch with with the family. My mum, my dad, my brothers, etc. So
Horace.
they tend to go Horace. Yeah, don't forget Horace. Tend to go around and the thing is I love about the festive period isn't really the festive dinner, although I do like it.
Yeah.
My favourite time is lying down on the settee watching festive movies.
After the festive dinner.
Yes, picking at the leftovers.
And are you a turkey man?
I am a turkey.
Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of pudding do you have?
I'm not a fan of Christmas pudding.
Oh,
not?
number 2. Get in.
I'm not a fan of it. That was a setup on it.
Did you mean that one, Jenny?
Yeah.
At this moment, I won't have any money left. So for pudding.
Sorry,
So yeah, I'll probably be on custard.
Yes, exactly.
Same for us, really. Just a bit of a lazy day, dinner with the family. I guess I don't really do anything more exciting. It's nice though,
It's what
isn't
it's
it?
all
Just to
about,
have,
isn't it? It's
yeah,
what it's
just
all about.
relax, have a couple of drinks, and just spend time with.
Do you like
family.
mulled wine?
No.
You see, this is the thing, right? So turkey, mulled wine, things that very traditional around this time. A festive mince pie, but people can take them or leave them, can't they?
Yeah, no, not a fan of mulled wine or.
Never had mulled wine.
Never.
Never.
Oh,
No.
I think it's the smell that puts me off.
Yeah, might try it this year.
just give it a go. I find myself eating those pies, not because I like them, but you just feel you have to. That's a shame. You think I'm not enjoying this, but I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've got to get in the spirit, that's all it is.
I'm still deflated. I've just said it again. So.
Twice. And £10 a shot as well. We should have a little ticker in the corner, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
Just,
we should do, yeah.
ding, another one, ka-ching. Yeah, I know some people at TV will be watching this back thinking, get in.
Chuckling, yeah. I
feel
know
like-
one person in particular.
Yeah, I feel like I should get a bonus for catching
Yeah,
you
yeah,
on purpose as
essentially.
well.
Yeah. Like a reward system.
A reward.
That's it, yeah, exactly. And I did confirm, by the way, with the boss, with Mr. Harrison, that on the jumpers does count.
Yeah, yeah.
So that has been
Abbreviation
confirmed.
does, yeah.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
And anything that displays it. George, what's your tradition then? Come on.
I don't know. It's we used to get the whole family, extended family, and people you've never even heard of used to come round on the day. And then we started going away. We went to Spain for a couple of years, which was quite different, but nice. This year we're going up to the Northumberland coast, and we've got some friends who are staying down the road, so it's going to be a little bit more quieter. And I'm really looking forward to it this year.
Yeah.
Last year was a bit different, but it's going to be, fingers crossed we can keep the pubs open and I can get in the pub for a festive pint. That'll be my tradition.
Yeah, do you go on festive day? Is that part of your tradition?
If it's open, I will do this year.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite festive movie? Come on, that's another big question this time of year. I feel like this divides or unites people.
Probably Elf.
Oh, right, yeah. What do you like about it?
just the setup. It's just.
Yeah.
Don't know.
What about you,
I think
Jenny?
I don't watch a lot of movies, but I think mine's Home Alone.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you can beat Home Alone.
Have you? Well, there's the first, second, or there's even a brand new one.
I've seen the first one and I've seen the second one because I think they go to New York in the second one.
New York,
That's
yeah.
right.
But no, I just think I think it's pretty cool.
But there's a new one out. Did you know about this?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
They've remade the first one. with some of the characters, or one character who was in the original is in this one as well.
I'm not a big fan all the time of like remakes,
No.
I think they can spoil them. I might give that one a miss. I might watch it.
I watched it. It was all right. I could probably recommend it. Neil, what's your favourite festive movie?
I do like Home Alone, the original one. That's one of my favourite ones. Yeah, but also I like Scrooged with Bill Murray. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
always a favourite. A little bit dark.
Yeah,
but it's good. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'll go with all of those. I like those. I like Home Alone. I like Trading Places.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy, that's a good one. I like that. It always makes me laugh every year.
I watched that a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
Really good.
I feel like just because we're in this industry as well, like, you sort of...
Yeah, really good.
I feel a bit of a connection to it, maybe. I don't know.
Have you seen Trading Places?
No.
You need to watch it.
Really good.
Need to watch it.
One for this festive.
That's right, yeah. And what about your favourite festive song? Do you have one?
Well, yeah. I mean, I won't say Slade, but, that you're guaranteed to hear that.
What's that song again?
Oh, I can't remember. So here is Merry Festive.
Yeah, stop. What about you, Jenny?
To be honest, I don't think I have one. I just,
Come on,
I'm quite happy with
everyone's got one.
All
Everyone's
right,
got one. You're a Wham, I can tell. Wham.
I couldn't even... If you sang the Wham song, I'd probably know it, but I couldn't tell you what to sing.
Not going to fall for that one.
Looking at that tin.
I don't know. I actually really don't know. I quite like them all.
Yeah.
Good
well, I mean,
try,
there's some. Yeah,
good try.
Yeah, exactly.
I might need some fuel money to get home.
That's it. I'll give you a lift.
Mine's probably the classic Elton John, classically known as "Step Into Festive."
That's right. Yeah. I think you can't beat a bit of Wizard at this time of year as well.
Yeah.
Can you? No. Yeah. You like the new Elton John song? There's a new one, isn't it? Ed Sheeran?
It's not so bad. It's not as good as "Step Into Festive."
Yeah. Oh, you're all too good. You're too much practice at it. Let's put another cracker. Why not? Come on. Oh, I lost again.
Okay. Are we telling the joke?
Come on, let's have a joke. Come on, George, you need to pull yours with
I'm
Neil.
not too sure what that is, but...
No.
Neil?
Double that.
Oh, I got a purple hat.
Come on, pop your hat on and I need a joke off you.
Trendy little
I've got a notepad and a pencil. What more could anybody want? Look at this.
There's one for you. I've already got one.
Okay, so how does a snowman get to work?
How does a snowman get to work? Would anyone like to have a go?
There's no festive word in there, Neil, if that helps you.
No?
Don't know.
No?
By icicle.
Oh, very good. I like it. Can I have it? Because I need these are right up my street. I'll just make a little, just put that in there. I'll be saving these up for around the festive table.
Can I tell the next one?
Go on.
This is very apt for you being in Matfin last night. What do you get if you cross a bell with a skunk? Jingle smells.
Great. I'll have that one as well. Come on, George.
Did Rudolph go to school? Just a question.
That's not the joke. You're just wondering.
No, he was elf taught.
Oh, very good. Very good. Come on, hand it over. Thank you very much. These will come in very handy. These will be very useful. Good. Well, look, I just want to say happy festive.
Happy festive to you as well.
Happy festive.
I feel like we do need some festive pies and a little bit of mulled wine or a little glass of something in here. That's the only thing that's missing. I think that would have been a little treat we could have done with that.
I'm not going to talk for the rest of the podcast.
No,
I'm going to drop myself in it.
No, I think we'll probably have to leave it there just because Neil's already skint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These feel like they're going to drop off any second, but look, I think this might be our last one as well. I know there's another podcast next week, but I think we should just say to our wonderful clients and everyone watching, have a very merry, and do subscribe and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Subscribing to the True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to the channel on your desktop or through the YouTube app on your phone and click the subscribe button. You can then press the notification bell symbol if you wish to be notified as and when new videos are released. Doing this is a great way to keep yourself updated with market developments and personal finance insights. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and we look forward to continuing to help you do more with your money.